Wait.
Hands up, now! Drop your weapon, now! Police, don't move! LSPD, get down, drop it, and put your hands on your thing, dog.
Thank God he actually surrendered.
What the hell?
Blame yourself, not me.
It's AK, bro.
What is Ready or Not home invasion? Put simply, you invade the homes being invaded by home invaders in your hometown. Home invasion. Taking place right after the devastating Hurricane Antonio, the aftermath takes the LSPD to 3 different places: a crumbling dorm, a neighborhood block, and a lavish mansion.
The attack take place.
Yes, sir. I was out working on my bike. There was this big
I do this.
crash. It was a damn heart attack.
They don't give a fuck.
It doesn't make much sense.
In order to evict people out of their homes more efficiently, the SWAT team has been equipped with new gear. 3 new free weapons, the DM4, FN509, and the P320 Flex Raider, make their way into the department's hands. The first thing you'll notice right off the bat is that the DM4 is yet another boring assault rifle, thrown into the pile of all the boring assault rifles we already have. This weapon is arguably a power creep considering its chambered range or blackout shorter than every other assault rifle and can be easily controlled. It doesn't have the Spectre DR or the LPVO, but who cares? The game isn't designed for long-range engagements. The FN509 is a 9mm pistol.
Hands up, don't move!
Why'd you stop looking there, Juju?
There's a guy trying to flank us.
Yeah, they're down.
Juge.
The P320 Flex Raider is actually a pretty neat addition to the game. It's classified as a submachine gun, but it's just a pistol with a stock and mag holder. There's multiple unique reload animations depending on if the mag is in its holder or not, unlike a certain other shotgun. I can't say the same for the DM4 and 509, which reuse existing animations, which is weird considering Void's commitment to not reusing animations for the different assault rifles, but whatever, man, it's not that big of a deal. What is a bigger deal, though, is how much you're not going to be using this thing. The Flex Raiders are primary, and so is the DM4. The DM4 is arguably as short, if not shorter, punches harder, has more capacity, and more attachments. If you're looking for a pistol, your secondary slot can only be a pistol. The real question is why they didn't make the P320 a standalone pistol. Would have just been free content. The DLC comes with some pretty neat cosmetics, with the theme of everything being lightweight. We got a bump helmet, both covered and uncovered, which has made its way to being my favorite, some combat shirts, a pair of shoes, pants, and a slick vest. They also had a balaclavas with a stipulation. Because of Void's weird way of dealing with faceware, balaclavas are only available on preset characters, meaning you can't use them in the single player mode, because it can't be someone other than Judge. Perfectly suitable for multiplayer though. Overall, the cosmetics are good additions, but you know, they should have added a security boot character. Whatever, man. Ready or Not Home Invasion contains 3 fairly short and tight missions taking place at various residences after a hurricane. The first mission, Dorms, takes place in a dorm that is run down and decrepit. The place is made even more filthy and damaged by the hurricane. Credit where credit's due, the 3D environment team can make any place look like a place you don't want to live in. There's rubble everywhere, water running down the floors, graffiti all over the place, including maybe some ARG stuff I don't really care about. Now, why a SWAT team? One of them shot a cop. There's a lot of openings and crevices that can be used as sightlines or escape routes for suspects, which is a nice change of pace since you can't just rush into rooms like in a lot of base games maps. A significant number of suspects have knives and small caliber pistols and aren't that difficult to arrest. This complements perfectly well with the primary objective of arresting at least 5 suspects. I think people are going to complain about how you're forced to go fully non-lethal, but it's perfectly doable with a regular loadout. Narcos is my favorite mission out of the 3, taking place in a cartel-occupied neighborhood block. An undercover informant has been compromised and captured by the Los Locos, which you've seen in the postal office. By the sounds of the briefing, he's probably not having the best day of his life. Taking place in an entire block sounds like a slog, but level flows pretty well and still manages to keep that sense of scale without it actually being a pain to traverse through. I'll say it feels a bit linear compared to most other maps, but maybe if they removed a fence or 2, it'd help. It's still fun nonetheless. The houses you pass through are small, containing no more than 5 rooms, but are pretty susceptible to gunfire through windows. But again, it encourages a slower pace. The environmental detail is pretty gnarly too, but I won't spoil the map any further. It's pretty good.
Oh yeah, they were torturing him, I'm assuming, right?
Roger that, entry team.
Entry team to talk. Civvy is ready.
This is talk. Copy that.
Lawmaker is the map I have the least experience with and is probably my least favorite from the DLC, but it largely comes down to aesthetic rather than actual gameplay. It takes place in a large mansion owned by a rich family getting their home invaded by an environmentalist group. While the lobby isn't directly affiliated in politics, they're probably doing some lobbying, as implied by the name of the mission. The whole map feels a bit too clean. It's clearly a direct contrast in Arcos and Dorm's dirtiness, but the whole map just ends up feeling sparse in detail. I don't know, maybe I'd have to give the mission another shot, but it didn't click as well as the previous missions did. The mansion is 3 stories high, but again, it just doesn't feel too bad to go through. But it's not as paced as well as Narcos or Dorms, though. That's really all I can say about this level until I can get more hands-on with it. If there's one thing to take away from all 3 of these maps, it's the amazing music each level has. Dorm's music is more ambient, which fits perfectly with the scenario at hand. Narcos feels very personal and has a great combat track. Lawmaker's wide range of instrument fits its grandiose scale. I don't know how Zach Bauer keeps doing it. These missions also have some ambient dialogue in them, and that can be triggered, and just a general sense of being in an operation. Which makes me wonder what the heck they were actually doing in the base game's map, which are just practically lifeless and boring. It's such a step up that they should really consider doing remakes of the base game's map. It's like they were unfinished or something, I don't know. Of course, there isn't only the DLC's content, it also comes with Update 1.1, which has a large number of changes and fixes and stuff. There's a rather large one that doesn't really have any surface changes, but it's the transition to Unreal Engine 5. Maybe this will help out in the future, but I was at least hoping for something that would improve the visuals massively. But I guess we're just gonna have to wait longer for those RTX features that were advertised years ago. Maybe we're never getting them. At least we have DLAA now, which blows the regular anti-aliasing out of the water. The station has also received a visual pass to reflect the place accommodating for the hurricane, with supplies and tents set up around the place. It's kind of cozy, if a bit grey. I could go on about very minute changes, but honestly the main concern is the AI. Is the AI better? I don't know, maybe? That's the best way I can describe it. They certainly do stuff more, but not more stuff. They take cover more, they hide more, they take hostages more, they talk more, they just do stuff more. But it still feels like I'm playing against robots rather than people with actual thought. They still have the amazing ability to know where you are and wallbang you, and that could be plausible in real life, I guess, but it just doesn't feel plausible in-game. It just feels like you're getting cheated. What they should be doing more is suppressing and watching openings rather than shooting through your paper-thin cover because the suspect's weapons penetrate through anything for some reason. It feels like less than an occurrence now with Update 1.1, but it still really shouldn't be occurring at all. Ready or Not Home Invasion is a step in the right direction for the game, but Voided feels like they're struggling to gain a footing after its frankly unfinished 1.0 launch. They should focus more on themselves and their workflow rather than keep trying to work like this, because it's been going on for 7 years, and nothing has really changed since this reveal trailer. For $10, and already existing fans of Ready or Not, it's a pretty good deal. I think they should add Zhu Yuan as a playable character in Ready or Not, though. And remember, if you're not naughtying, you ain't ready. Who the fuck wrote this?